All right, welcome back to the show. Apologies on that front. Wendy's is letting you win real food with your fantasy teams this year in Daily Face-Off. For those of you who smoke the competition, Wendy's is rewarding you with weekly prizes that will have you winning despite your lack of team building skills. Download the Wendy's app and score yourself 150 bonus reward points on your first order and grab a sweet victory from the mouth-watering jaws of defeat along with some fresh, never frozen beef. Sign up to play Daily Face-Off to win weekly prizes like the spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's and the Wendy's app. As we get into the game preview here, Rosie, the first of 2 in 6 days against the St. Louis Blues. They'll visit Enterprise Center, as mentioned, next Monday, February 19th. And it would be really cool if Joseph Wall somehow got into that game, you know?
Be really cool. Be a good story, good timing. I don't know. You wonder if the Leafs, if like the Powers would like that. Would that be extra pressure? Or would they rather, sneak them into a game, off the radar, a little bit off the beaten path to kind of let them ease in? One or the other. I know in media they like the big stories, right? But I wonder if they'll try to protect the kid a little bit and be like, maybe this one has got enough on your shoulders without having the whole hometown fiasco going on as well with all the distractions. But we'll see. And I also want to say that my computer had nothing to do with that crash there earlier.
Hockey Guru writes in, Nick, why do you want an opposing player on a Leaf show? Bad karma. Do you think that Matthews is on a Blues show?
True. Awful. Awful that we would do this.
How
How
dare how
dare
dare we
we?
have one of Jay Rosehill's good friends on our show, damn it. Fuck. What are we
How
doing?
dare you? How dare you? True. That's outrage, man. Get us canceled. Keep
Yeah, we should
squawking.
be. The Leafs again 12-10-2 on home ice through 24-41 outings. So that's been a prevailing story the last little while. Just can't get cooking on home ice. And it's interesting, but for some reason, and I sort of touched on this with Braden Schenn, that interview's coming up in a couple moments. But the fact that these two teams, when they get together, Rosie, there's a lot of offense. 47 goals in the past 5 meetings, and not to disclose too much in the Betano wrap up, but I'm probably looking at the over in this game. These two teams just incapable of playing a boring hockey game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did it during our show yesterday. I was scrolling through my phone, hammering the over just in case it moved once Vegas figured out what these teams really do. But yeah, lots of reason to think that the offense would be good. I think the boys should be inspired. They responded without Morgan Rielly. Bad loss to the Senators. They're usually pretty good at bouncing back. Goaltending issues with us potentially. I know Sammy could be in there and stand on his head too, but traditionally these guys shoot the lights out. So if you're going to lean one way or the other, the over is certainly the way to go if you ask me.
Because the interesting thing here, right, is you've got to reallocate 25 minutes that Morgan Rielly would play. Like I think it's sort of being understated the importance of a Morgan Rielly. Having said that, a couple moments back, I did say like it's got to be a collective type thing, but there's got to be a couple guys in my world, McCabe, Brody. I mean, those are the two big guys who they got to take on more minutes, but they got to be effective, right? It's one thing to fill those 25 minutes, but you've got to do your thing. Like I think it's unrealistic to expect Simone Benoit to play 25 to 27 minutes. Like that's he's played as good, like he's hit his ceiling, if that makes sense. They need other guys who they're paying significant amount of dollars to do their thing and pull their weight. And I think if they don't, they're going to be in big time trouble. We'll see what they have here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, you want to spread out a certain amount throughout all of them. To be honest, I mean,
Yeah.
Lilligren and this Leguson's going to come in. You're going to take some minutes up, but the TJ Brodies and the McCabe's definitely you want to give those good minutes, and I think they got to be focused on just being solid, simple minutes. Right? You don't try to go be Morgan Rielly out there. He's gone, so you're not going to fill the exact same deal. But when those minutes get spread out to those other two guys, it's it's simple passes. The forwards got to be down, supporting, giving options, and giving outlets. Nothing fancy, nothing panicky. Be in position. Move the puck north. Move the puck north. If you don't have anything and you're in a spot that you're not sure, glass to the neutral zone, live to fight another day, and you just can't give up those two mistakes that end up in the back of your net, and then you lose 4-3 on a or 5-4 whatever, and it could have been a game that you won otherwise, but you outworked your couple guys on the back end. So I think simplicity is going to be huge, trying to get those minutes spread out and just making them honest, solid defensive minutes that are simple and that you have a lot of support from the rest of the team. They all got to band together and help out the back end because they're depleted when they are on a good night. So that's what I'm looking for tonight. Nice and solid and simple. And if you don't notice those guys, they're doing a good job.
Not to beat a dead horse, but simplify the game, right? And we've talked about this ad nauseum. To a point you made earlier on, you're so right. Like they've played 50 games and it's felt like 300, and that's just the roller coaster that is the Toronto Maple Leafs, where it's like it just seems so abundantly clear. Simplify the game, and you might find a bit more success. But I think until they realize that, it's going to be the same stuff. And like you have to think, I mean, you've been in an NHL room. They have to be hammering that home, especially without Morgan Rielly. The fancy shit ain't flying at the best of times, especially now without your number one defenseman. You just can't turn over the puck the way they have been this season and expect to win, especially again against a St. Louis Blues team. And we went over this with Brayden Schenn. They're really, really feeling good about themselves right now. I think they've won 7 of 8. They're 15-7-1 under Drew Bannister, their interim head coach, and they're coming off a 7-2 win against Montreal on Sunday. Simplifying the game has to be the way the Leafs play this game. If not, then they're in trouble, I think, man.
And for some reason, they're the heavy, heavy underdog going
Yeah.
into a team that just lost their best defenseman and got smoked by the 28th team in the league. It's whoa, that's a wild, wild Vegas look right there. But maybe they know something we don't, Nick. I'm not sure, but definitely to get a win, they're going to have to band together and and play some simpler hockey than they have in the past, man. And if they're capable of that, it needs to be tonight.
The following interview is brought to you by our friends over at Battlegrounds. Axe throwing, unlock the ultimate birthday party, team building event, or have a great date night with your significant other. To find a location and book an outing today, go to battlegrounds.com. That's BATL grounds.com. So again, the St. Louis Blues into town to take on the Maple Leafs. With that in mind, as we did last year, we had both Schenn brothers on. We're following suit this year. Here is the captain of the St. Louis Blues, Braden Schenn.
Braden Schenn, thanks for doing this. You're in the big city of Toronto. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Just got here today. Stayed in Montreal last night. Watched the Super Bowl as everyone else did, and then got here and a little dinner tonight, and then ready to go tomorrow.
Nice, man. You, I don't know if you noticed or not, but there's a little bit of buzz around the Maple Leafs right now. Did you happen to catch that empty net clapper there that involved Morgan Rielly?
We sure did. It's definitely a talk of not only our locker room, I'm sure it is league wide. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys are saying about it, but I guess we'll wait to see what happens, how many games he gets.
What do you think Rosie's response was to that?
Hozer's response is that guy gets everything he deserves, and Morgan Rielly had every right to do that. I'm sure that's what Jay Rosehill said.
Well, Braden, I did not like the cross check to the head, but I absolutely like the response. You're an old school guy, Sasky boy, no stranger to the league and some of the traditions and everything else. A guy goes in there like that, takes a bigger clapper than any of the All-Stars did in the hardest shot competition. Do you think that elicits a response, or should have Morgan Rielly have just skated away like nothing and not even acknowledged it?
No, I think I know Mo too, and he's a stand-up guy, and Luke obviously playing with him last year said nothing good things about him, and I think he did the right thing. Obviously, he didn't mean to cross. I think it just when something like that happens, you go a little bit black, and you're not trying to cross-check a guy in the head, and obviously, you end up on the wrong side of that one. But I think majority of the guys in the league that would have probably did the same thing, and like I said, that the cross-check just ended up in the guy's side of his head or whatever. But I definitely think he did the right thing.
I thought it was pretty telling, Claude Giroux, when they interviewed him after the game, and he didn't back his teammate. I don't know if that's the correct way to phrase it, but like he didn't sort of back what Greg was thinking. But I mean, you play the game, you're in it right now. You're going to be playing the Leafs on Tuesday. Like it's just like it's such a quick reaction time, right? Like if has a situation like that arose for you where it's like I got to make a split decision, I got to jump into the melee one way or another?
Yeah, I think if you look at the replay, I think Morgan Rielly probably went for like the punch with the glove and with the stick in his hand and kind of got him wrong. But I guess the way I look at it too, it's he did the right thing here. He's kid goes in and takes a slap shot or whatever. And I think it's just an embarrassing moment for, there's superstars on the ice, and there's a guy that scored 40 plus goals in 48 games, whatever it may be, and he's taking an empty net, minus by a slap shot. I think there's other ways to go about it, but yeah, I guess I don't know if the Leafs and Sens play each other, but I'm sure there'll be a response if there is.
So speaking of the Leafs, Braden, they're pretty up and down with their play. They can look pretty good and they can look awfully bad. From your guys' point of view, preparing for the Maple Leafs, what are some of the things you guys talk about having to watch out for, and what are some of the things you guys try to take advantage of?
Haven't actually watched any video as a team yet on them. I think that'll probably all come tomorrow. Obviously, coaches have a different perspective than me right now, but just obviously if you look at their lineup, the way we have to play them, we don't try and run and gun with teams or outskill teams by any means. So for us to win a hockey game tomorrow, it's going to have to be just literally keep it simple and don't turn over pucks and don't feed into their offense and their transition game. And, obviously the best goal scorer in the league and the skill to go around them. We have to play smart and, play a simple game, I guess, if we want to win.
So Rosie hates this when I bring this up, past matchups, but I did some number crunching. The last 5 meetings between the Blues and the Leafs, 47 goals have been scored. And I'm sure you recall a couple of those games. You just talked about not getting into a run and gun game, but it's easier said than done against this team, right?
Yeah, especially when they're at home. They're fast and they kind of play that high style of offense. And like I said, sometimes it happens and whether penalties are called or whatever else, but they don't look in. I'm with Rosie on this one. Not looking too much into past matchups just because the personnel of both teams has changed. But I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the leadership on this team too, Braden, and being the captain of the St. Louis Blues right now. What are some of the things you try to do to, be in that leadership position and try to make sure that you're getting the most out of your team night in, night out?
Well, I think it's just everywhere you have to hold each other accountable, and that's the style of play that we have to play. And I think in our locker room, we've got that as of late. Guys are playing hard for one another. It's little details in the game that are essentially when it's hockey games. Obviously, the goaltending's been great, but special teams been good for us. But it's just little things like blocking shots, taking care of pucks, not turning over pucks. We know if we do that most nights, that so far it's working as of late. And like I said, it's just the little things that help you in a hockey game, that gets you 2 points at the end of the night.
There's just something about you guys, Braden, and coaching changes. Like, you guys are doing it again, man. 15-7-1 under Drew Bannister. He's done a tremendous job. What is it about a coaching change that can inspire a team? Because obviously Rosie and I have this conversation like seemingly on a daily basis about Sheldon Keefe, and that's a story for another day. But like, what is it about that gets a team going?
I think there's like that. One, team comes together. Two, is like that embarrassment factor a little bit. You just kind of get a little bit of embarrassment as a player where, you got your previous coach fired and you have to come together as a team or else it's going to be a long year. And we tried to obviously went in the right direction with that and playing hard for our coach right now and playing hard for one another. And, winning obviously cures a lot of things. And right now we've got a good feeling in our locker room. So
Rosie, you've been a big proponent of Chief. I mean, we had Craig Berube on this show. Maybe you can speak to Schenner about just that and what a guy like Craig Berube can do to this team, Rosie.
I had Chief in Philly, and he's a guy that you want to play for. He's a guy that inspires you. He keeps it simple and he keeps it honest. And, that was my impression of him. Honestly, Braden, going from, that story never ceases to amaze me. The fact that you guys are dead last in the league at Christmas and you win the Stanley Cup. It's absolutely incredible. I don't think that'll ever happen again, but how much of that do you attribute to kind of a change of mindset with the coaching change, or do you think that was just kind of an anomaly?
I love Chief. I mean, I had Chief for my first couple of years in Philadelphia as an assistant coach, and then he was my head coach, and then I had him assistant coach in St. Louis, and then obviously head coach with St. Louis as well. And with Chief, you know what you're getting. He's going to hold guys accountable. He's going to get guys to play hard. He's going to get guys to play for one another. And he's going to really get guys to buy into a team system or a team game.
There you have it, a spliced interview with the one and only captain of the St. Louis Blues, Brayden Schenn, who I love teammates, and a stick tap to his teammate Nathan Walker, whose phone he used for that interview. It was just it was a nightmare, technically speaking. We got through it, though.
It was. These things happen in this Biz, and yeah, he was working hard to giving us his best to try to make it work. But I guess that Ritz Carlton's just got that ghetto ass internet. Who knew?
Yeah, because the same thing happened with Luke last time too. But very thankful of Braden spending some time, and I thought they were curious comments, not even sort of calling it an embarrassing play by Ridley Grigg. So that again, this is a veteran in the league. This is a captain in the NHL. So it's not just a Toronto thing anymore. And as he said early on in the interview, like everybody in this league has taken notice, and the fact that a guy, a captain in this league, says that and calls it embarrassing, it is what it is, right?
Well, there's clearly two different mindsets in players. There's kind of the old school, and then these new kids have got the new school, and they'll do the fucking gritty, which is from a video game on after a goal in the NHL on national TV. They're wearing earrings and these weird suits with hats, and it's just different and it's new. And I think every generation looked at the one coming up behind him and thought they were a little bit weird. And I don't think this is any exception, but I think that's the difference between a guy that's been in the league for a year and a guy that's been in the league for 12 years, and they just know that you don't do stuff like that. And everyone's was raised differently and came up in a different area with different mindsets, and it's all good. You mix it all up and see what happens. But I think that Greg found out in a hurry that there will be a response to something like that, and the way he plays, he might have known there was going to be a response and did it anyway. And I don't mind guys like that. I like it when
Yeah.
guys go out there and stir it up and do dumb shit just to cause a reaction. It's ballsy, and it puts a spotlight on them and puts them in harm's way, and they invite it on. So I don't even mind it. But if the guy had absolutely no idea that that was going to cause a reaction, then I kind of roll my eyes and say, "Wake up, guy!" But can't ask him. I don't know what he's thinking. Nonetheless, he did it, and he knows what happens now.
Yeah, he found out, that's for sure. And the decline comment yesterday did Ridley Gregg, by the way. I'm sure maybe he'll talk about it after the suspension goes down, but maybe not even that. So we'll see over the next couple of days. The Betano wrap up is presented by Betano.ca. The game starts now, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Major announcement. Betano is the official partner of Copa America 2024, taking the beautiful game to new heights in the Americas. Join Betano on their journey of passion, unity, and unforgettable football moments. Definitely looking at the over 6.5 in this game. As mentioned, 47 goals in the last 5 meetings between the Blues and the Leafs. Both games last year hit the over. They have crazy games for some reason. It's just one of those things. Like we just asked Braden about it too. Just I don't know. You can't put your finger on why. Do you have a feel for anything else that might happen tonight in this game?
I mean, not really. I don't. I just can't. The numbers just juiced. I haven't looked at it this morning, but
Yeah,
like to have to have the Leafs be favorited in the 200s and plus
crazy.
is wild. But I don't bet against the Leafs, or else I'd be mashing anything that I feel is a really good value. But yeah, I like what you touched on. You think some guys are going to step up, and I think it's going to be a high scoring affair. I mean, there's 3, 4 different reasons why you could think that. So I like what you're on board with, and think that that the over is as likely to hit as any game that we talk about.
Okay, so setting the scene for the next couple days. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and of course Thursday. Carter Hutton's going to be in the mix for both those shows. You're headed somewhere very sunny, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Mexico. So
Nice,
I don't
nice.
know, hoping for some better internet than the Ritz Carlton in Toronto, and see if we can still bang the show out down yonder. But yeah, the whole family is going, including extended family. It's going to be quite the trip. So we'll bang some shows off down there, and see if I can get a nice background for you guys.
What's the over under on Corona's drank over what is it, a week trip?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to let you know. I've been backing off the sauce
You
lately, but
have,
a trip
yeah.
like that might throw me right back off the wagon. We'll see.
Yeah, because there's nothing that hits quite like having like a Corona or just a cerveza on the beach in Mexico. It's just prime stuff. I'll actually be in Mexico for a wedding first week of October. Might be doing the show from
Mm.
training camp from Mexico. That's already booked, signed, sealed, and delivered. Got a wedding, but yeah, there's just nothing that beats it. So have a great time, and you'll be back in the mix on Friday, right?
Yeah, next time you see me, I'll be down there. I hope we have a connection that works. I will be sorting it out when we land tomorrow. No, Thursday, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully she works, but we'll have a different look.
Boys Soul writes in over under 100 Corona, by the way. So I'd probably go with the under, but
100? Yeah,
yeah,
maybe at one point in life, but I doubt it.
yeah,
We got kids and stuff. I can't
yeah.
be tipping over and falling on them and stuff.
Although that'd be pretty good if we had that on video and put that on this podcast, but we probably won't. So that's going to do it for today's show. Many thanks to Braden Schenn. Thank you to everybody in the chat for bearing with us. Of course, technology always plays a factor in life, and it did on today's show. So thanks for hanging with us at the Leafs Nation 401 Leafs Morning Take, wherever you find your podcasts as well. Again, many thanks to producer Vic for putting it all together. That's Jay Rosehill. I'm Nick Alberga, and we'll talk tomorrow. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.